Hi, I'm Bray. I recently graduated from my bachelor's in psychology, and I'm currently a photographer and I do digital art. Well, I'm currently balancing an internship at a welfare clinic. I'm currently balancing the final reviews of my thesis and my exhibition of my art. So I think I've always really liked to do art and I've always really been into photography, but it wasn't until I started earning a bit of money that I was able to afford a camera for myself and then really actually dive into it. So I think it's something that I've carried with me for a very long time, but most recently my way of getting into it has been through digital art and photography. I think rather than a singular influence, what I draw most my inspiration from, or what I really like to look at when I'm working on my art, is really just A, the work that other people do, and B, the trends that come up. What I really like to do is I like to go back on my own art and see what I can do to improve it. But rather than having like a mentor kind of person, I have my friends who give me a lot of feedback on what they like and what they don't like. And because we're all sort of on the same level, we kind of see the direction I want to take independently. So I think I started off with just taking pictures without even knowing how to edit a picture from a camera, right? Because I knew how to do edits and stuff, but I was aware of how to edit PNGs, JPEGs. And then I got a camera and then I was like, oh, there's a RAW file. What am I gonna do with a RAW file? So I think for the first 6 months of me getting a camera, I didn't even touch the RAW files. And then I think the first stage of development was when I actually started to learn how to edit RAW files. And then another stage of development was when I incorporated what I learned with RAW files into what I knew with PNGs and JPEGs. So my art just kind of mutated from that point on. And I feel like right now it's at this very surrealist, dreamlike state, but it just looks stuff that's really not sober, that's not really rooted in your proper conscious. And I think that's just where my development has been spiraling, just keeping on going in different ways. I think one of the biggest hurdles for me, something that I like to talk about, are the hurdles that people face, where a lot of people think that art needs to be done in a particular kind of environment, or that you need to have particular prerequisites to do art. And I just really think that art is anything that you create, anything that you make, and as long as you've put some kind of heart into it, it's really a creation of your own. So a lot of people are very quick to dismiss the work of an editor, or they're very quick to dismiss the work of a photographer, or just people who do digital art as well. I just want everyone else to know, and something I tell myself as well, that just because it's not like tangible in your hands doesn't mean that it's not real. It doesn't mean that the effort didn't go into it. That's something that I would carry with me a lot. Absolutely. I think I was watching this YouTube video and I read this one comment, or I read the transcript or something, where a person was like, photography just gives you an excuse to do all the things that you want to do anyway. And I realized that when I got a camera, the first few months was like, I was just taking pictures of things in my house. And then I was like, I want to go out and see what else there is to take pictures of, So I started going out on walks, and then I started going out to different places. And then the effect that had on just my emotional well-being and my mental health as well, that was really nice. I really like CFAW, and the reason I like CFAW so much and why I'm so excited about this collaboration is that I think I mentioned a lot about my 6-month benchmark. I remember I got my camera in July, and then it was December where I was able to work on an anthology created at this place. And literally I spent 3 crazy days working on a resume, on a portfolio to show, and then I got in the anthology. I was working between classes and then showing up to the sessions and the meetings, and then that body of work that I created in my very rookie stage, in my very amateur stage, I still adore that piece so much. That's what I really adore about coming here and having my first exhibition here, the first people to call me an artist, the first people to see my art. And it's just like this lovely little cycle that I'm in, so I'm really excited about that. So my workshop is, I hope, something that's going to be very inclusive, something that's going to be very open to everyone, whether you're inexperienced with art, whether you're someone that's been more active on the art scene. It's going to be focused on making things out of things that you already have. The premise of the entire workshop is basically going to be rooted in working with what you have and then making something new out of it with community, because that's been a very integral part to me and my art process so far.